Lizard.
Confused cat girl is here first.
Lizard.
Confused cat girl just claimed second.
I gotta add a bad word. Boom. There we go. There we go. Good evening to Grey Wolf, Confused Cat Girl, Willow _ Wanderous. How are you, sweetie? What does Catra want to say today? I am like scrambling right now because I realized I was running just a few minutes late. You're okay. You're okay. Okay. What colors were we using on these, Catra? Do you remember? Whoops. All hail the psychosis of my notes. Picked up a hitchhiker the other day, and he said, "Aren't you worried I'm a serial killer?" I told him, "Nah. What are the odds of two of us in the same car?" Exactly, dork. Exactly. What are exactly the odds? How you doing today, dork? Okay. Don't really need the greens right now, so we can get Dead Rose Red and Epperty Orange. Lemon Yellow. Need my Indian Shadow, or my Indian Shadow, Bronze Highlight, and Beige Red. I'm doing all right. Had a good dinner. What's up, sweetie? What's going on? Huh? How are you? What's going on? Got a bunch of photos taken today of all the various things that I got varnished, so We are very productive. But I forgot to get everything else ready for stream when I was doing it. I was like, whoops. Whoopsie. That rose red, Aphrodite orange. I was using just red. Hello, Val Earth. How are you? Welcome in. We're going to need a black liner. I have a feeling I'm going to want a black liner. Okay. Paint or game design? What would be your game design that you're working on? Hey. Do not steal my copper corners. No, this is not our relationship, sweetie. I politely ask you no. Hello, Mama Lion. Monster Hunter genre table from... Hey. Why are you trying to steal these? Huh? Not for Kitty to steal. Thank you very much. Oh, is order Europe? Oh, should have popped it. Just stuck the pokey tool in that, but I did not. Hmm? Kyoto Cafe Jazz Hop. I think I've listened to that one before. I've swapped over to the video game just because I was scrambling. And now it's kind of stuck as the winning one. You've got that look on your face. You are in full mischief mode, my love. Huh? What's up? There we go. There we go. I need this brush. I need this brush. I need these two brushes. I think is what I want to start with. And then we'll go from there. And I was using a bone color. I was using an odd bone. 1 second. Oh, see, I just like the conversations in lo-fi. Like when people start talking in lo-fi, I'm like, no, instantly no, dislike. Because there's times that there would be some songs that they were doing for like Final Fantasy, and I'd be like, no, stop talking. Because usually when there's voices in the head, it's something's happening on stream. So I start looking around to see what notifications firing off. I'm like, you're not meant to be firing off a notification right now. The moment I get you trying to playing with the toy, you're like, oh, he's moving the camera. Let me go investigate. Ah. All right. So now, what I want to do is yeah. So the box she's playing with right now has cat treats in it, and it's one of those that has like sandpaper in the bottom. So hopefully, it kind of helps keep her nails trimmed. So for your Monster Hunter game, I never feel alone because I have cat, and cat likes to do mischief things. The genre table, is it going to be like a timed event sort of deal? So it becomes a battle royale sort of situation, or kind of like a SummerSlam. So you start because like how does it trigger to move or adjust without dice or randomization mechanics? That's kind of the question. Is like how does the game clock adjust this. Question. You go back to work tomorrow. I thought you weren't going back to work. I thought you weren't going back to work. Oh, I understand. She's so smart. Things change. That they tend to do. If they never stay the same, then it's never going to function the same. All right. You need to focus on one thing and decide what you want to do. Good evening, good doctor. How are you? Hmm. All day on a weird trench crusade thing. Oh, really? I'm just, I'm having some of the focuses challenges right now and trying to figure out what I want to be looking at. Where do you wish to be? I wish to be doing the thing. What thing? Well, I don't know which thing just yet, just the thing. Is that a conversation we can have? Like a World War One mech with a trench. Ah. Hi, mechanic. How are you? How are you? Players narrate the attempted actions, and the hunt guy narrates the monster's attempted actions, and they both kind of negotiate what happens. Oh, sounds a little interesting. Ready for your friend to be home so she stopped complaining. The first world problems. I'm on vacation and it's not exactly like I want it to be. Ah, word up. Yeah. a proper vacation. I haven't been on one in a while either. I mean, the only vacation I took last year was going over to ReaperCon. I need to reorganize my life and get things going again. I think the last vacation I took for myself, Mama was heading out to the Black Hills of not South Carolina, the Dakotas, and walk around the Smokies a little bit. A lot of fun to do with a Fiat. Did not realize I would enjoy a Fiat that much, but it was quite enjoyable to drive a small little car around all of that place. Mm-hmm. It's kind of nice being out there. But there's a couple of times when you're walking alone and nobody's really there around you, to all of a sudden go, well, that's a bison, and either it's going to decide I get to live or don't, so turn around and walk away. No, you can't help them, Mama. It's like all you get to do is drink the tea and enjoy the fun. Um, so when you're in the flats and the hills, so like when you're over at the Badlands and all that stuff, it's like this poor little 4-cylinder car like going way out, and it's a long time ago. It was still a proper 4-cylinder when they were separate from themselves and they weren't a part of anything yet. But yeah, I got to walk around the Badlands, spent a day out there, which is a lot of fun. Both sides will have game clocks to keep track of some aspects of the game, all clocks. Okay. But it was a different kind of vehicle to drive at the time, and I don't really get to. But it's you're in a place that's known for like Jeeps and all that jazz, and here you are rolling around in Fiat. It's like, let's go. Hmm. I'm thinking this. And what hill is there in Austin? We've started the Cub birthday for Big Cub. Ooh. It's refusing to give you the streak. Is Twitch doing the thing that it wants to? Austin is hill country. I'll have to go and see. Emotional damage.
Mechanic Games request a dad joke.
What dad joke are we going to get, SiriBot? Tell me. What type of music do balloons hate? Pop music. State capital. It's a Pokemon. One of the originals. Yes, it does. Very much does sound like an ice cream truck. Oh no, you found a Pidgeotto. What will you do? I mean, a lot of musics that we do kind of work together. Not really an original, but my nephews wanted the. Yeah. I mean, the Super Nintendo had a lot of really good bangers on it. Like, I bought one of the small little Super Nintendo game things that they released, and I love that thing. Play the original Zelda, Legend of Zelda on it. Play the OG Mario Karts. Get back to Ghost 1, the Haunted House 1. Yeah. No blue shells, only red shells. Donut Island. Yeah. F-Zero. All that. Ba-na-na. Super Mario RPG, Chrono. Yeah. I didn't care for Earthworm Jim, honestly. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. But I did like Super Mario RPG, a lot of those old school RPGs. Like I saw they re-released Donkey Kong Country. Yes. Ooh, that game brings back memories. Yeah. The original Super Mario World where you had to do all of the things to get the special world access and then change all the shells over to Mario heads. It goes, Hootie. How goes you? How goes you? Gotta wash some clothes so you have some things to put on your body. Oh my god. Laundry is the worst. Been there, did that already. Stickerbush Symphony, Mining Melancholy. Yes. Um, Gonna have to dig out the SNES for the Donkey Kong Country alone. Yeah. I mean, it's so much fun. Like that original OG version of it. It's just like, oh, wow. And like the weird clay animation that they ended up being able to get, and like all the limitations of the Super Nintendo that they played around, and all the ways that they cheated stuff. My word. Oh, I miss those days of gaming sometimes. OG PlayStation. Yeah. Just the ways that I'm finding what I enjoyed most about some of it was learning about what it took to make the video games function and the platforms that they were in, and just kind of the ways that it had to work around various aspects of it. Um, and they had to work around different pieces of software and hardware limitations that they had at the time. Da-da. Hmm. See, I didn't. FF8 was nice, but I didn't care for it as much back in the day. Downloaded the remastered versions from Steam when they got released to play on PC. I was like, I still don't like this, and I know I kind of understand why I didn't like it back then. It's just fun, but yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Mhm. I'm kind of digging her. Kind of digging her a little bit more now. Get them into my Spotify. You're blinking too much in the background. Okay. These for the face. Do I want to do the face right now, or do I want to do something else? Base coat the rest of them. I might be base coat the rest of them. Let's take a look at the face really quick. Mm-hmm. Okay. Need a sharper brush for this. Boom, 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 boom.
Katra. Hoodguard just showed up with new friends. Hope they have treats.
What? What are you up to? How was your stream? What were you up to? I didn't get a chance to pop by. Hmm? Tell us, good sir. Painting the. Oh, that's a beautiful bust, by the way. Where did you get it from? I've seen it on the blue of skies, and it looks beautiful. Not that I need another bust to paint, but it's one that definitely caught my eyes. Stella Argentis got a raid and run though. Have a great stream. See you, good sir. Be safe. Be awesome. And be cool. Yeah, no, don't ever let me do that again. Hello, Jay. How are you? Welcome in, Raiders from Hoodguard. I am Painting Paints. We are here painting the Kelpies from the Briarwood Vale. Just kind of working up our skin tone right now and seeing where we want to go with stuff. Where do we want to go? Welcome in, King Dixon Balls. red. I need the red. Pretty sure that face stands out and says, "Hello, I'm a face." Hello, I am a face. Welcome back in, Mama Lion. Oh my god. Ugh. And you have to fold other people's laundry. It's so much fun. Ah. It is nice when they're able to do that and start helping around and doing other things. Hmm. And a little bit of the orange. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. It's going great, Gilded. How are you? How was your day? This is just something cute that I was like, oh, we're now going to go complicatedly hard on it for some reason. What you been up to, Gilded? We need to finish base coating stuff, actually. Doing well. It's been a chill weekend. Oh, you gotta love a good chill weekend. Bless you. You have a big old sneezy? All of a sudden, you look up and your cat's just like sneeze. I'm like, what's wrong? Oh, Gilded, what's your class that you're teaching at ReaperCon? Hi. Did you have a good nap? Did you have a good nap? Did you nap well? Did you doing a good nappy? What's up? Hi, sweetie. Mwah. Who's a pretty kitty? Huh? Who's a pretty kitty? Mm-hmm. Who's a pretty kitty? All right, we're gonna let this one slide to the side for a little bit. We're gonna base coat the other ones. Welcome back. If you're still out there, Gilded, I don't know if you heard my question, but I didn't know what class you were teaching at Reaper. No, you have one. What's up? Okay. Painting pasture plateaus. 2 of each. I gotcha. Yeah. I put the matte varnish on her today, so she's gonna go in the Reaper case. Welcome in, plays game. Tesku. And he's going in the Reaper case as well. Yeah, it was very different. I know that I got the contrast in there quite well this time. I got a lot of variation because when I was doing the manual focus, I picked out every one of these scales. I was like, oh, I guess we did something right. So, yeah, these two are for the Reaper case or the Reaper entries. It is a demigorgon. Demigorgon. These are kelpies that we're painting up right now. The demigorgon was sculpted by Gene Van Horn. For whatever reason, I tend to paint a lot of his stuff. Him and Jason Wiebe. I should really collect a paycheck from them. I also have my massive diorama that's not ready to be shown off yet. I want to do all that in skin tone. Thanks. They're better than last year's, so hopefully we'll break into the silver. Hopefully we'll break into a silver with one of them. With one of the three that I've got going in. I was going to try to do a Conwa, but the figure broke and I was just like, nope. Nope. Yeah, there it is. Give me a second. Gilded, give me a second. This is the diorama that I've got. That's going to go in. This is the last group photo that I've taken of it. Yeah. The last thing that I have to do is finish these two and get them fixed in place. Everything else has been glued into place, and I'm just kind of futzing and putzing a little bit. I need to go back and fix some of his. This guy's magenta. No, it's personal. It's personal. Yeah. That it's I don't do a lot of commission painting task. I'm more of a we're here to hobby, jive, have fun, answer questions, and chat. If I'm doing a commission, it's because something really spoke to me. Hangry Games reached out, and I'm going to do something for them and see what I see what comes of it. We're going to have a little trial phase, as I'll call it, and see what happens. A lot of what I paint is for myself and only myself, or my table, if I want it to be on my table. Another thing I'm working on for ReaperCon to give to somebody is these guys, which are some of the Dungeon Dweller miniatures. And it's a great way to work on practicing things like freehand and different kinds of colors like that. So we'll probably work on these on Monday nights for a little bit, just to kind of grind them out and get them done. Because I have kind of this green, which I think I know how I want to fix it. Well, welcome in and welcome to the hobby. I hope you enjoy it. I enjoyed painting my first miniature. I painted one and then was like, I love this and want to continue to paint. I was like, I must continue to paint. I must always paint. So I paint primarily tabletop for myself. This is a channel point redeem that we have for a Hootie Dwarf or a Swarf. So if you get 50,000 points, we'll paint up a dwarf. That's the Dwarven Forge Priest and like some of the drinking dwarves that I've prepped. Recently we were doing the Gambling Dwarf. I worked on him a little bit. And it's just, we're here to hang out and paint and have fun. You have welcomed to the hobby correctly. I see you have found mass order. Thank you for the 3-stream streak there. Confused Cat Girl, aka Blorby. Give me a second. That wall over there, that is all my unpainteds. So, I understand. I was very much into Kickstarters at one point, so I backed a lot of Kickstarters, and I said, you need to get off of Kickstarter, sir. I understand. 100% understand that. Yeah. Soon. Blizzard trademark soon. Yeah. At 20,000 points, we give Catra a cat treat. Someone always redeems it on Friday, and that's when it'll be up for redemption. Catra is my kitty, and she will hang out with us. Sometimes on stream and exactly where I'm painting, and sometimes off stream. It is just the cutest little bean sometimes. You'll never know. You got to try. Exactly. We all start somewhere, we all paint something, and we all go with something. I like the shotgun approach of paint it all. .54mm. Rather chunky boys. Essentially, yes. Double-ish. This is something from Loot Studios, and you can kind of see that it's twice the height. Something more normalish in size. So these are 40-ish something. The diorama that I showed off was 75mm in scale. Mm-hmm. So what is your whatever, so paint what inspires you, because you're going to pick it up the most frequently. If you don't like what you're painting, you're not going to continue to paint it. I do a lot of fantasy painting here from Reaper and random other websites that we find. I'll do bust. I will do everything but 40K for the most part. That being said, one of the listed items that I want to buy when I go to ReaperCon or look for is specifically the Shadow Haunt box for Kill Team, and see if it ends up being there or if something really grabs my fancy. Right. I'll paint. Yep. So this is Chibi from Bombshells. This is Super Chibi, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Another type of Chibi. Various Reaper Chibis that I have. Or a shark. Stuff like that. I just looked at my shelf and realized I need to get back to painting that Big Child Creatives, but I haven't done any of that. Yeah. So these are some mouselings that Reaper tends to do for ReaperCon that will get painted up at some point. I just haven't gotten around to them. I really enjoy painting them. They're a lot of fun. So much fun. And then we have one riding a dragon. They could be female or male. I just got to pick. So I understand, because when you find the thing that inspires you, you're going to pick up the paintbrush far more frequently and do all of the things that you want to do. And trust me, there's plenty of things to inspire you. Many things. Welcome in the wilds. How are you? Ich bin wunderbar und gut, Sir. Sehr gut. Excellent. Excellent. Good thing Malty isn't around to judge my German. He might rage at me. And a parrot. You're in the wrong place, sir. Wrong place. So Steamforge Games created something called Faraway Adventures. So they do animal D&D figures. If you were curious, they are small and they are tiny. So I warn you. This is what I meant by you're in the wrong place. One of the bigger Kickstarters that they did was the Animals of the Faraway Sea. So you have koala, rabbit, goat, red panda, albatross, alpaca, piglet, orangutan, fox. Yes. Yes, this is what we do. Dungeons and Doggos Volume 1. Ooh, man, these were early days for me. Early days for me. So early days. I warned you were in the wrong place. We we encourage, but I also understand. Hoodguard rated in earlier, and he's been working on a bus that has kind of made me, ooh, I kind of want to pick that one up. So depending on how you come from it, you can think of it in different ways. I think somebody I was talking to, or someone had posted something and said, don't think of it as painting. Think of it as more of coloring, just in 3 dimensions. Yeah, panic moments. What's that? Oh, inks. So some people work with inks quite extensively, and that works well for them. You just have to kind of grasp what you're playing with. Um, Brush for Hire paints with inks a lot more than I do. Hey, cool with ink. That's great. Na, na, na. Mhm. Mhm. No speaking in songs. No, no. It's more of the application of understanding how thin they are versus how thick they are when you're applying them, making sure that they're wet enough. Because inks are easy to use. Um, are they villainy? They're not villainy inks, are they? They're standard acrylic inks, like something kind of like this. Bellarani's. Yeah, they're slightly somewhere in between that and this, so thinning them down with a little bit of water will help, but they're also going to be super transparent in comparison to other things that you paint with. Because the inks by nature are really just pigment rich. Things. I'm sorry, I'm trying to use words as I. How you doing, Heavy? How fares your day? Oh, what you painting tonight? What you painting tonight? Yes, a gin. I do like a good gin. We'll probably have some of those painted. I got to get the four elements out at some point because I want to repaint the gin. I like gins. A-holes, but they're a lot of fun. Try to keep to two when mixing. Well, depending on the colors that they are, sometimes it'll work out nice and sometimes it won't. So two tends to work better than three rather than trying to get three colors out of it because your white's going to help you shift value left and right on your scale, but the won't really give you a new color. I mean, that's all we are is happy accidents. Happy accidents for everything. I feel like if it's not a happy accident, we didn't do it right. Um, what kind of palette are you using, Task? You can use a wet palette or you can use like a little pop socket toy. They work great. Wet palette for makeup. Okay. That works. Moon. Your medium acrylic, just mix it with water. Do a 50-50 mixture of water and your acrylic medium in a bottle. Instant thinning material. That's all this is right here. And this is what I've been using all night. It's a Mocoso something. Yeah. Thin the acrylic medium 50-50 with water. It'll be a lot easier for you. It'll help you get some glazes going and thin your paints in a nice way. Water works too, just straight water. You just don't want to add too much water. The acrylic medium helps keep the um, the paint from breaking. Sorry, I'm like doing something really quick, and my brain is like, derp, derp, derp. Why can't we find the thing you're supposed to do? Send message to channel. What? What did I say the command does? Oh, gear. There you go. That's the camera I'm using. Wilds. Yeah, if it's thinning out too much and it's flaking up and not making a great connection, the paint's essentially broken, and that's what you don't want to have happen. So when you mix in matte medium or you're using acrylic medium and water, what it does is it helps stretch that pigment out a little bit further to the point that you want to get. So, give me a second. You're welcome. So if I take my orange right here, right, that's just straight out of the pot. I take some of my medium and mix it in there. And add it in there. You can see how much it thins it down, right? If I take straight water and add more in there, it becomes nearly nothing. So what we're looking for when we're trying to figure out what to do, I should have used red. Hold on, let me get the red. Thank you for the stretch. Yeah. So this is red, quote unquote, straight out of the pot. Really dark, super, super intense. If you take and add more medium to it, to where you can see it on the palette, where it's just bubbling up, you see how much thinner it is. So it's kind of like 50-50, right? So using just straight medium, I can keep adding the medium to it and it thins it out more. But there's just like a diminishing return where it takes a lot, like a super lot. Where you're almost not like you're even dirty paint water, right? Just straight dirt paint water. But if you take the same thing and grab just a chunk of water, you get the same thing faster. And that's not what you're wanting to do, right? You want something that can progress a little bit more like this. So you want your darks and then you want to keep pulling up your medium tones. So with my red, if I wanted to highlight this up, I can grab some orange, mix it in, and you want it to be nice and thin. Start left to right, and you build up your colors slowly over time. Yeah. If it's too thinned, it doesn't work out that well. But to what the Wilds was asking, if you mix just, your lighter color in next, it helps cover whatever it is. If you're following like a color theory idea, um, You get something like orange and red. So that's the first task that I found helps with miniature painting is you want to get an even base coat on everything so you know where all of your colors at, right? You want it to all be nice and even. You don't want to have any frustrations with it whatsoever. So like all of her base coat's nice and even, but she's not done yet. If you start highlighting her in between and you have to go back and futz stuff later on, it gets harder. So not discipline, but like a good habit is to make sure that your base coat is nice and smooth in the way that you want it first, right? Give me a second. Give me a second. So even base coat, but then I'm not only happy with the single color, even though the black washing often looks quite good. So to your point, I'm going to take the orange right here. We're going to run it over this, right? That's 100% paint. Just pure paint. It's depending on the brand that you're using, it can be uh, most of them go straight from palette to miniature, right? So you can just take it, swirl it around on your palette really quick, and then go straight to the miniature. We'll see. We'll see, right? So you have your nice even base coat. And now this is where Duncan Rhodes would tell you to do a wash over it, right? Right. But you can see here where it's not nice and even. Oh, God, no. I used to let it dry for a while. It's probably dry enough that you can wash it now. It's not a super complicated process. So, yeah, I already washed. So depending on the amount of wash that you use, that's when you want to be mindful of how much it is. So if we just use black wash, right? It gets one or two. Black wash. Simple black wash, right? And that's what you end up with. You end up with something that it's looking a little coffee staining. It's not the worst. Now we'll let it dry. We'll set it to the side. I'm going to base coat the other miniature because I want to make sure that I can try to wrap all of these up at the same time so they can be done together. And I'm not freaking out. Yeah. So, I mean, when you're using shades to start, that's it. It's okay. If someone tells you it's terrible, don't ever listen to them. They're there to help create the initial set of confidence, and they're great for that. Same thing with speed paints. Speed paints are great for that as well. I just didn't have a speed paint that I grabbed, or I would have used it. I've painted a numerous amount of miniatures with speed paints and washes. Is it okay? Yes. Yes, it is. Why is it okay? Because it is easy. It is simple and it is effective. Right? Shadow. So what I've started to do and what I'm trying to get in the habit of myself doing is I zenithal all these miniatures and immediately prompt and stop painting them. Sometimes the feedback that I get is that so if you make your face the focal point, this should be the brightest spot, and this needs to be bright, and this needs to be bright. So you're trying to find a way to get a gradient scale to go through and make it stand out. So if I switch into a black and white view and just kind of look at the values of it, you can see my hand, you can see the hands in here, you can see her eyes. She needs a little bit more of a dark ring around the eyes. It'll probably work a little bit better. But you can see that the face is the brightest point that I want it to be. And then you can kind of come from the top to the bottom and everything kind of fills. And then your base is just there to help frame the miniature. Yep. Just start with a single light source. Trust me, a lot easier with a single light source. And the more you start adding, the harder it gets. Or the more it makes sense sometimes, right? I think it was AC was talking about he was talking about Fulgrim as like essentially the rule of cool controls right now on some of it. Yep. That's essentially what it is. For me, what I'm trying to do is paint midtones where I'm white right now, and then I can highlight up from there. Highlight up to there for some of it, but then keep the midtone the way I want it. Yeah. So here we are with our snake. It's dry enough. It all kind of looks flat, and that's what we were chatting about. So now, depending on how you want to tackle it, get your orange again. Mix in a little bit of medium this time. Just a little bit. And this time, drag your brush down towards your light. All right. It's too thin. It's too thin. About 50-50. It depends on the color that you're using. What I want is not a super harsh transition, but I want to get it to kind of pop back in, right? So you can see through here where we got the orange and the dark lines still. Right? It's just slow, right? And now you can take a yellow or a white or something and mix that in. And instead of doing just, so now you just kind of want to do like that edge line a little bit. Do not make it, yeah. And you can kind of see how that, just that little bit of yellow mixed into the orange really helps you bring out that edge. Little bit of transparency, right? So when you look at it under this, you can kind of see it a little bit. The lights are really bright, but you can kind of see where you get it going that way. Yeah. It really becomes starting to guess how thin you need to play, and you just kind of have to learn. Yeah. With what you're doing, and it takes little bits, and because it's so thin, you can add one layer to it and go, is that too bright? Let it dry. Yeah. That only, yeah. Make sure you play with your favorite paints. Don't buy a random bottle of paint because somebody said it's the best thing since sliced bread. Trust me, don't do that. The more you play with your favorite paints, the more you learn how their consistencies work and how they operate. And you can kind of learn that your mixtures will vary wildly depending on it, right? If I'm using like a pure white, yeah, you keep mixing it. Yeah, and then you just have to keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. But I really, hey, sliced bread is great. I don't disagree with you on that at all. But it's challenging, right? So as you move around your figure and you start to paint more different pieces, learning to get your brush control squared away really helps. Yeah. Like this sun color here, I think someone gave me the best piece of advice one day at ReaperCon was, or one of the things I started doing was paint my messy bits first and then come back and clean it up, right? So like if I wanted this shield to be like a bright yellow here for the sun, but I wanted the rest of it to be like a red or a dark red, you know, either paint it very politely and clean, and be mindful of where you're putting your paint. Or or slap the whole thing with paint. Right. So the more you work on the patience of the brush control and painting small details on stuff and practicing it, sometimes the faster it helps. And it comes and your painting will start to level up on its own. One of the first things that I learned to level up myself was tracing in the dark lines of the shadows. Yeah. I want to go fast and I want to get the base coating done. I'll mix a little bit of medium in, but I won't use a lot of it because I want the coverage. I want the one pass or the two passes it takes to get the full coverage. Um, there's quite a few rivets on this guy. Ooh, there's so many rivets on this guy. Yep. Okay, so you got your red, right? Nice and pretty. Here we go. Level this up. Painting, painting, painting. There. I'll let the ads. I'll let the ads run and we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it in a second. Metal. It's metal. You can use a bigger brush. I could use some metallics if I wanted to. I'm waiting for the ad to finish. Been some while since I used it, so give me a second. Oh, give me a second. There we go. All right. Welcome back to Matt. Just give me a second. So, to your question. So you want everything to be slightly different, right? So we're going to use pieces of 8. IKT. Man, what did I do to my paint rack? And why do I have this all jacked up right now? That's what I'll for filigree silver. Ooh. So, all right. Give me a second. Some people say you shouldn't because it bleeds into the sponge and messes with stuff. I don't because I ended up agreeing with that sometimes. And new brush. Pieces of 8 may not be functioning for me. No, not going to be a good color. Yeah, some people do, and it's not an issue. It's really not. It's more of a there was one bad experience kind of deal, and that's what happened with it. Yeah, it just depends what it is. So now I want to use my metallic paint, right? And get an even base coat around all of this. Hmm? Yeah. I hope your time is You do get some rest, KT. All right. So nice and even, right? Okay. So now what I want is I haven't used this stuff in forever, so I just wanted to use it. Some Raquel and Fleshlight. And I want to give it a wash everywhere, right? Let it dry, and we'll come back to it. And we'll come back to it. So now that you've got it washed in the ways you want it to look, this is when you can use your dry brushing, right? But I need to let that dry before I dry. Nope. Oh, you can't anymore today. That's no fun. Who should we be going to fight, KT? Just out of curiosity. Who should we be going to fight? And is his name Hootie? Oh. Point me in the direction and I will, sweetie. Hootie caught a stray earlier. Nope. To be fair, KT, I have never seen you say nope, never, not nicely. I've only ever seen you kind of be on the edge a little bit. And even then I was like, thank you. Because I know you're doing it to catch my back. Yeah, so do I. Be kind. As the 11th Doctor said, always be kind. Or 12th Doctor. It was not the 11th, though I think he tried to say it at one point. Always be kind and eat your vegetables. And remember to drink your Ovaltine. Yeah. I don't know if you saw her, but this is kind of the idea we're going for with them. Kind of pretty colors. Kind of pretty. Kind of digging it. I just haven't highlighted her up yet. Thank you. I'm just letting it dry right now. We shall return to it shortly. Oh, that's actually oh, well, it's hair now. It's hair now. I probably should have done these guys in all green. But they did their clothes in blue green. But then it would have been too monochromatic. And I just did Brother Blue. Banana. My game. Some Mario. Yeah. Katra was getting some of her treats earlier from the little box, so that's good. Yeah. So that does not look dry yet. I do. Give me 1 second, KT. There you go, KT. I need to add Discord to the whitelist. Pawns. The pawns is pretty. Go ahead and drop them in work in progress. We are a friendly place to share work. If you want feedback, we can give you feedback in the proper channels, but work in progress is meant to show off your work. So this is KT's pony that she's working on. I love it. And your little, like the little nose snoot thingy here where you got the darkness, it's so pretty. So pretty. So pretty. Yeah. That's how I felt about the color purple forever, KT. Every time that I picked up purple and tried to paint with it, I'm like, this looks like dog. Everything purple. Did not matter what it was. Try to paint something purple, did not look good. Every time. Oh, wow. Yeah, I could see that. I actually ran the airbrush today and primed a bunch of board game miniatures. So we'll be returning back to our Borderlands stuff and we'll be getting back into the normal board game Wednesday stuff soon. I understand that. It's important to take the break and be like, okay, as long as you can recognize it, that's what's important. I mean, I've had that happen to me sometimes, and I'm recently going through some of that. Not burnt out with the hobby, but it's burnt out with the reward center. It's kind of messed up right now in my brain, so I'm having issues processing it. Or processing how I feel about things when they're complete. So I get it. Um, Ended up tossing the matte varnish on the chibi and everything that I had over there. Uploaded 57 freaking photos today to process and get everything squared away. So it's, you know, I gave myself a mountain of work to do, but at the same time, it's like I needed to do it because I feel happy with them. I just need to get them squared away now. Nah, you weren't useless this weekend. You were just struggling with other things. Yeah, I understand how that goes all too well. Oh, just as I was going to get her, she's varnished. 100% matte varnished. You're all good. First awkward brush strokes are always okay. Yeah. She's fully matted down. So I'm happy that she is. Like I finally did it and I was like, I have the finished photos of her too. I need to do all my photo editing and write the post and be like that, all that stuff. So I'll probably do leading up to ReaperCon. I'll probably use that week. I'll use the next 3 weeks to prep all that stuff or have it ready for post ReaperCon so I can post her with whatever medal she gets. If she gets a medal. All right. So that shield's dry now, or it's dry enough for what we can do. I need a paper towel. Where's the paper towel? So what you were asking about task is that you can, so if you took like a steel, whatever steel color you want, as long as they all line up in the same like realm of things, it's okay, right? To get you a dry brush, work it into some kitchen towel, and just give it a light dry brush. And you can get a really shiny metallic effect after the fact. And you can see how shiny that jumped up, right? Just from that one little dry brush. Right. Now, if I wanted to go the extra mile, there's a place to dry brush for everything. There's a time and a place for a tool. Dry brushing can be used for whatever you want to use it for. If you want to build up, so I find it kind of funny because people are like, you just, just don't dry brush. Dry brushing is useless. One of the things that some people talk about quite frequently is you want to start building in. Yeah. At least once. At least once. So now, if I want to build in more contrast for this thing, if I take a really thin down dark paint or a liner or an ink in your case, run it around your recesses and purposely paint it into the recesses. And see how much difference that makes. Just using a black paint. A really thin down dark paint. That's all it is. You could use a wash, but instead of me washing the whole thing, I want to target specific spots for it to go. And it really helps create that value that you can see, right? Like it's nice and shiny and you got really dark recesses and everything is kind of in line with that idea. sometimes painting is all about placing something where you want an eye to look or where you want something to be, right? So if I took my soft body black paint that I was using earlier and just dabbed it over these rivets, right? It's just a little too dark for me. And I want to be more targeted where I put it. I don't want it to be everywhere because I like the way that everything looks. So just a little bit of black wash to dab on those rivets gets it to pop out, right? And you can see them now on every piece. Similarly with the brass, if I wanted to break it up in between, I could just drop a little bit of wash in between. I'm not trying to like wash the whole thing. I'm just kind of looking at the recesses itself. Yep. And you can just, that little bit helps so much. Because you're building the brush control to be successful. If that makes sense. I can grab it really quick. So a good example of why you like dry brushing and stippling are important is for like this beast, right? The getting the texture and the short hair to show up. That it's a reason why you'd want to do something like that. You want something to pop out so you can use dry brushing to help build a texture of a thing. Good evening, Vintage. How are you? Where I want something to be smooth, I may not want to dry brush on it. But for like the fur and like the short furs of this guy, I was using a makeup sponge and just dabbed the ever living bejesus out of it. I used so many dabbing layers on KT's pony that she was so kind to post in chat. She was using a lot of pastels and pigment powders and somewhat the same thing. So you kind of want to go in steps. Like I didn't highlight his hair up as much as I should. Like it looks like I totally just did not touch this stuff at all. I should have brought it up a lot higher. I did not. And then you can see something white and shiny down there. Yeah. Put it up. Uh-oh. Oh. Yay, these Warcrow swoops. But another good example is the smoke of magic effect for this figure. Using a dry brush and stippling and shading that way kind of helps create texture and helps it give depth, right? And it's not just flat. Because that's what you don't want it to be. You're not wanting this to be like super flat. You want it to be dimensional. It's a 3-dimensional thing. Make it 3-dimensional. Yep, that is Big Child Creatives. I bought her one year when they were having a sale on something and I bought her. It was actually one of the very first miniatures I ever painted on stream. Ooh, is she rough. In some spots. That's how I ended up meeting Antifreeze too, was painting that figure. But, little things like that really help make the paint come out. It has been a while since I've used metallics. Holy cow. Yeah. Two elbows on the table. Both arms firmly planted on the table. And then you can always use a pinky. Kind of find a way to get like the Karma Sutra of your hand going. So you can have ways of doing that. Like when I go to paint an eyeball, sometimes I'll study a hand on a hand and be like this, and it's halfway figuring out how to study something. Oh, the eternal battle. How do I hold a miniature? Easiest way you can find it. Yeah. Um, I like using this Game Envy handle because it has these things. It has one of these things that you can mount on the side and you can rest your hand against. How often do I use it? Very rarely. Very rarely. Always draw in the direction that you want the light to be going. Sometimes it helps. Um, Tommy Soule wrote a book. Um, and he was talking about the different types of brush strokes that you would often use. So you always want to pull as much as you can because it's a lot easier for you to get paint to where you want it to go, right? So when you're painting like the leg, instead of pushing the paint up and messing with the brush, always try to find a way to pull. Always pull. Or always be thinking of how to pull the brush more than push the brush up. Yeah, it doesn't help. But there's times we don't think all the way through when we're doing something. That would be a hilarious series, KT. Or a great question. What is one silly thing that you've always done in miniature painting that you can just never unlearn? Um, as long as the brush is clean, that's fine. But for what you were saying is sometimes you push the brush. Sometimes I've done that, right? So if you want to freehand something or you want to make a color look a specific way or do something in a specific way, you'd want to like push your brush or find a way to adjust the brush. Yeah. Nice and dark. My God. So much air. Ooh. Okay. So take a sip of water. I haven't done that. Cool. I want to check to make sure that was working the way I was supposed to. Yeah, with all the prep for ReaperCon, I'd completely forgotten I needed to finish. I wanted to try to wrap up that box this year, KT. I need to start getting back on that grind. I looked over and was like, ooh, brother, oh. I even have Morgana hanging out right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Just haven't done it yet. I mean, we could go one step higher and dry brush that with yellow too if you wanted to, but there we go. Here we go, nice and red. Oh, she has so much hair. Bum, bum, bum.
Thank you, Spelling Mistake, coming in with the awesome people.
Spilling, how are you? How is Halo? Hoi, hoi, hoi! How are you? Clickety clackety, prepare for the raid tackety. Shouldn't it be spilling, spieling, spaling, prepare for the spieling raidicity? So we've been working on our Kelpies tonight. I think this is what I eventually want them to be. I might go a little bit higher. We'll see. But we got them all base coated tonight, so we can try to finish them up next time. And then had a new painter come into stream, so we were kind of goofing off painting and talking about different techniques and ways to make something be different, like a red and a brass shield, making it look really metallic-y. Yeah. And then we'll probably paint the Yuntai at some point. I don't know what I will do with her, but we will at some point. Did you keep it? Is this a newer Halo or is this a remade Halo? Just out of curiosity. It's the OG Halo. I thought it was. I thought it was. We are going to drop our raid timer in, and I need to move. Frickin'. Why do you move? Why do you move? Why do you move? Why do you wish to test me? Silly thing that's supposed to stay in one corner the entire time. But yeah. So first stream of them was getting the greens down. Now we got the reds and the skin tone base down, and then we got this down. And I was just wondering if I should go in and drop a darker red in to break up the hair, but yeah. We will leave it as it is. We will leave it as is. But are you having a lot of fun? So when you play the old games, do you go back and go, man, how did we ever do these controls? Like, how are these ever meant to be functional? Good night, KT. Sleep well. We will see you tomorrow. Hmm. Thank you for the stretch, Jay. Oh. Mm. Oh. Mhm. Mhm. 1 minute left. There we go. Yay. Yeah. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. But I do need to find us our raid target because I do not like it when the next set of ads triggers and then we go right out right afterwards. Yes. Let's do that. All right. We're going to go push raid and we're going to go see the good doctor. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll be back on Monday. We'll be working on our skills Monday and focusing specifically on the special project that I've got going on. We'll be working on something from it. We'll see what happens. Everybody have a great Monday, and we will return tomorrow evening to paint. Wow, my brain is like disconnected right now. So we're just going to go push. Be safe, be awesome, and love each other.